name is Jason Isaac. Jason, how you doing, bud?
Hey, Moon, great to be on. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Still living a carbon lifestyle, right? The high one, right?
You know it.
Hey, Dad, before I get into the subject, I got to get your take on something. So, Canada's Prime Minister now, okay, just says the climate strategy introduced under Trudeau has become too expensive for Canadians and too divisive for their country. He says right here they're going to strengthen the power grids, increase electricity, and by growing Canada's all gas and LNG exports. Are you shocked here?
Yeah, I was pretty shocked. I think this is probably to try to stop that vote of that province that wants to leave Canada, which I think they'll have a vote later this year on that. So I think he's just trying to appease to those working class people in that province. It's a big energy production area of Canada, and so they're going to start approving pipelines and exporting oil to China, which, I mean,
wow.
They're taking in Chinese electric vehicles in Canada. I guess they're going to repay them with Canadian oil. I mean, the fact that they're allowing these mass surveillance vehicles to be driving around Canada is unbelievable to me. It's going to kill their automotive industry.
You see,
and so now I think he's just trying to virtue signal.
I thought it was kind of funny because, they got a bunch of wildfires burning in Canada. It looks like a lot of smoke's blowing this way. And on the flip side, he says that it's climate change that's causing all the problems with the wildfire and the smoke blowing over here. So he can't have it both ways. He's for something, and now he's and then 2 days later, oh, man, all these wildfires, this is because of climate change. So, I mean, I think that probably lends to what you just said. This guy's trying to do something else. The only reason he's coming out and saying what he's saying.
Oh, yeah, and they always blame everything on climate change, but they always leave out the most important word after that. It's climate change policy. It's what they've done as a reaction to events that have happened in the past, and they think that they can go in and change it. In 2018, there was a bad fire in Canada. 7 lives were lost, and that's tragic. Well, then government got together for months and came with all these ideas. There's about 6 different acts that you have to comply with. Endangered Species Act, Forest Mitigation Acts. I mean, it's just crazy what you have to do to get a permit to have a controlled burn. It takes 6 to 9 months to get that permit.
You're joking. 6 to 9 months for a controlled burn? Holy cow.
Yeah, and then they stopped all the controlled burns after this one incident happened in 2018. And so no surprise, all the fuel builds up on the floor. I mean, indigenous tribes there in Canada for thousands of years have been doing burns to keep the fuel off of the floor of the forest. You eat little grasses that comes up, and then you get little deer that eat those grasses, and then there's the prey. I mean, this has been happening for 10,000 years. But now all of a sudden man's going to step in, and this is why man does cause climate change. It's because of stupid policies they put in place that result in massive fires and smoke all in the northern United States.
Yeah, I just the guy comes out one day and for all in gas, we're going to reboot this thing, and then on the flip side, this climate change or wildfire that probably started with a match. Remember the one in California? They actually got a guy that cranked it out for him. And but they'll blame climate change.
I joked Gavin Newsom, blaming climate change, and then it comes out, climate change carries a lighter and drives an Uber and just got dumped by his girlfriend and started a fire.
Yeah. But you notice that you don't hear much about that. Oh, we heard some, but you don't hear much about that's really what happened. You don't hear about President Trump told him years ago, you need to do some cutting around here and cleaning out. But once again, they're not going to listen because they're smarter than God. I don't know if you knew that or not, but they are. So let me ask you a question. So the National Academy of Science newest climate report. What's going on with this? I know President Trump is lighting them up, but talk a little about what they're doing, what they're producing, and how they putting out information. Once again, that's nuts.
Yeah, this is where, I tell people I live a high-carbon lifestyle. I think the rest of the world should, too. And if I see any threats to that, then I'm going to call them out. We found out on December 31st at about 5 o'clock the National Academies and the Federal Judicial Center published a manual on scientific evidence, the 4th edition, and this is for federal judges to review. Well, there was a chapter in there on climate science. Mm-hmm. And then the attorney generals, we brought attention to this, attorney generals wrote a letter. The Federal Judicial Center said, okay, we're going to omit the climate science chapter. They didn't rescind the entire manual. They just omitted part of this chapter, which the National Academies have kept on their website and have actually doubled down and say, we support this. But what they don't tell you is the people that wrote this, one particular person, Michael Berger, he's the executive director of Columbia Law School's Sabin Center for Climate Change Law. Well, he's also of counsel at Sher Edling, which is the primary plaintiff's law firm driving all these climate nuisance lawsuits against energy companies around the United States. Wow. There's no citation that he is of counsel of a firm suing energy companies in this reference manual to train judges. So we pointed this out. We published a report. Well, the National Academies doubled down last week, and they put out more fraudulent information about climate. Mm-hmm. They can specifically blame energy companies. Wow. Because they know these cases are going to the Supreme Court. They're going to lose. They've lost everywhere, but they're going to keep losing. And so finally, President Trump comes out. I mean, it was awesome yesterday and just brings the attention to National Academies. The National Academies have been around since 1863. Wow. President Lincoln put them together as a research organization to provide unbiased research for government agencies. Well, now they get about 25% of their budget from left-wing organizations. They get about 74% from you and I, the taxpayers. And so that needs to stop. We've been asking for appropriators for months to get together and review the money they're receiving, cut it off. Every single agency within the federal government should say we're no longer going to deal with the National Academies. We're going to get really unbiased, good research and do it in-house. You don't need to contract it with left-leaning organizations.
You know, it's sad, the left in everything, climate, you go trans, whatever you want to talk about. They've done a really good job of getting into places they need to get to and controlling them. Universities, National Academy of Sciences, in the government, in the regulations, in the school systems. I mean, they have infiltrated everything, and the propaganda machine has put it out as facts and to be truthful. That's why people are buying into the lies. But this has been going on, Jason, because we have American people have looked the other way for so long because they just don't have an interest, but they knew where to go to start changing the hearts and minds of people. And that's exactly what this is. Sounds like to me anyway.
No, you're spot on, Moon. They've infiltrated our public education system. Yep. We've talked earlier about the science model. The models that the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change uses and how they withdrew those. They withdrew this worst case scenario model, calling it completely implausible. But for the last 15 years, it's been used as business as usual. So this was all the research had to be predicated on this particular model. It was withdrawn. People continue to use it. Just 6 states that have adopted curriculum aligned with this alarmant model. Every single fear headline, research paper that's come out about climate, warning us we've only got a few years left to live, have been based on this flawed model. There are reports since 2017 saying it's not going to happen. People continue to use it. And now that the UN has withdrawn it, you're still seeing people use it. We launched a website, They Knew. It's they-new.com. If it's easier, you can go to algorenew.com. But we've got over 70 instances of research and media still using this scenario that has been withdrawn because it's implausible.
Yeah, but it's amazing, and to take it one step further, they got into all these places. Now, is this what federal judges do? Is it local judges? They get to go read something put out by the National Academy of Sciences as facts, and it's not factual. So this is what they buy into when they're making judgments of our laws.
Yeah, the fact that the Federal Judicial Center has published this manual. I mean, this Federal Judicial Center is overseen by Justice John Roberts. We saw Justice Kagan actually wrote the foreword to the manual. And she said, this just came out last week. She said she hadn't even read the manual, but yet she wrote the foreword to it. I mean, she endorsed it and hadn't even read it. And this is used to train thousands of federal judges.
Can you imagine endorsing, signing it, the politics? Yeah, just sign it. Okay, I'll do it, no matter what it says. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's ludicrous. I mean, it's just like Nutsville, but yet this is our judges. They'll go read this when they want to. I'm taking it, read this, and study this when they want to make an opinion.
Absolutely. Write opinions, rule on cases. I mean, the organization that's behind this, the Environmental Law Institute, their Climate Judiciary Project, they've been training state and local judges for almost a decade now.
Wow. That's why we're getting beat. Hey, you got one more quick segment in you?
Yep.
Jason Isaac, my good friend, Mr. American. Honored to have Jason Isaac, CEO in American Energy Institute, founder also, knows about energy, understands it, fighting the craziness like everybody else. Jason, when did y'all become aware of what they're trying to do with the judges? And do we have any judges, and I hate to be ugly, but I will be, with the guts to say, well, I'm not reading this crap. This is horrible. Does anybody get to the judges and say, look, what you read is a bunch of bunk and nonsense?
Hello.
You there? Jason.
Hello.
Okay, hold up just a second. Jason, you there? Okay, we lost him again. All right. Hey, are you there, Jason?
Yeah, got you.
All right, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. No, what I was saying was, and I hate to be ugly, but I will. Any judges with the guts to read some of this stuff and say this is nuts? Any judges can go out there and say, hey, guys, don't fall for this craziness. But because the organization's been around so long, you usually get, well, they've been here forever. I mean, you saying they let us down. So what I'm saying is it's been taken over, but you got to have judges standing up to say, you know what, enough of this craziness.
Yeah, I haven't heard any judges come out and say bad things about this.
Wow.
But I have heard judges like the Hawaii Chief Justice of their Supreme Court who's endorsed this. He's participated in the Environmental Law Institute's Climate Judiciary Project events, and he's refused to recuse himself from their case against energy companies, saying they've caused changes to the weather, which is really interesting because the only one they're not suing in Hawaii is the only refinery in Hawaii. And it just so happens that refinery happens to give heavily to Democrats.
Yeah.
So you basically pay the bribe, you pay the fee, then you get out of the lawsuit. And that's what's happening, in my opinion. But these judges have participated in these events and continue to stand by them and even promote them. It's shakedown.
But judges, let me say this, I might get their feelings hurt. I'm not talking about all judges. But let's be blunt. When you watch Chuck Schumer get on TV and say, hey, there's a reason we approved 225 federal judges under Joe Biden to stop the Trump agenda. So just think about how many was pointed under Biden and Barack Obama and all these people that buy into this. It's agenda-driven. I thought a judge is supposed to look at the law, apply the law. I didn't know the judge was supposed to be into the propaganda, too, which, by the way, will mess up the way they think and mess up the way they judge.
Yeah, this is what you were talking about earlier. They're just parasites. They have gotten into everything and infected it. The courtrooms, the classrooms, the capitals, you name it. The climate cult is there. It's an unfortunate religion of theirs. They just don't like humanity. Yeah. They don't like our prosperity that we get from affordable and reliable energy, and they're doing everything they can to stop it.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, though. It's amazing what they've infiltrated, and they got away with it. Because now you got all 10 years, you said, and you got all these brainiacs coming out of college that are getting probably taught the same thing. I'm sure they're being taught, I'm sure you would agree with me, that's where a lot of this problem's coming from.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look at what happened to Bud Light. I mean, they're terrible marketing, but this was someone that they hired that didn't like the Bud Light image.
Yeah.
And she had gone to some school up in the Northeast that had this ESG department division within the school. You could actually get a degree in ESG. I mean, that's the environmental, social, and governance, which I call everyone's suffering guaranteed. It's political agendas. We got to get companies to quit embracing political agendas, stand up and fight for the products they produce.
Yeah, but if we don't have the courts, if we don't have the courts that are honestly going to look at a case and their background is based in what this manuals put out, that they said, well, let me look at this. I'll read about what this National Science Group said. And, but they said this, then I'm going to rule based on that. And that's the point you're making. If you got that kind of crap out there, people are going to buy into it. We're going to have judges making rulings that are horrible. Horrible for the country, horrible for the United States of America, horrible for people.
And that's why we've called on Congress to investigate, to shine some light on where this information came from, how this came about. The Federal Judicial Center, we've called on them to completely rescind the 4th edition manual. Go back to the 3rd edition, because you still have people referenced in there like Michael Mann. He's like one of the most well-known climate alarmists. But he's been sanctioned by a judge for providing false information to a jury, for lying. So you have someone who is writing training manuals for judges that has been sanctioned for lying to juries. I mean, that's the last person that should be training judges.
It's kind of like, I don't know about this Pope, but the Pope before him had an atheist as his climate advisor. And I used to think, wow. And that he was advising him on all this crazy climate stuff that he bought into. I think he was the one from Argentina. I never have understood that. I've never understood why you have somebody like that that's getting information from an atheist.
Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense at all. But climate is a religion in and of itself.
I know. Jason, y'all do a great job. How can people find out more about everything you're talking about?
You can check us out at AmericanEnergyInstitute.com, or you can follow me on X at Isaac for Energy.
You're always the best. And by the way, y'all don't buy into this. Y'all about traditional energy.
Affordable, reliable American energy. Oil, gas, coal, nuclear. Stuff that works when we need it the most.
Well, I hope you don't mind. I'm trying to live a high-carbon lifestyle just like you and enjoy every second of it. Thank you, buddy.
Hey, all right. I wish the rest of the world could, too.
All right.